What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm going to talk about spiritual warfare. And I'm going to talk about how the human experience is so fucking painful and how the human experience is a scam. So let's get to it. So it's insane how the amount of spiritual warfare and amount of shit the average human being has to experience. Reflect and observe everyone's lives, and they all have the same pattern. We all go through trauma, we all go through pain, we all go through manipulation, we all go through betrayal. Some people may experience more intense than others, but without a doubt, every single human being you know of, especially on YouTube that you see of, we all experience abuse, pain, and trauma. This is why I hate this human experience. This human experience, and I hate when people say, "Oh, you're spiritually protected," or your ancestors are watching over you. That's bullshit. Because if there were, then why is there so much spiritual warfare? And people, and even if that is true, maybe we do have spiritual protection. Maybe we do have ancestors watching out over us. Just the fact that people still experience trauma, pain, abuse, and spiritual warfare, that in itself shows you that this human experience is not a good place to be in. I'm not trying to sound like a downer. I'm just being real. I'm not sure how the afterlife works after you pass away or die, but if I had a chance to reincarnate, I would not do it. Not because I don't like it here. Me, I love my life. I love myself. I know I love how I operate. I love how I'm able to overcome situations. I love how open-minded I am. I still need a lot to work on, but I love my progress. I love who I am. The thing I hate is the fucking people, the world corruption, and the amount of evil shit that's allowed and takes place in this realm. Just the fact that a lot of evil shit happens in this fucking world, that's a fucking problem, and that turns me off. And again, I never understand when people say, "Oh, you're spiritually protected," or "Your ancestors watching over you," or "God's watching over you." That's bullshit, man. And even when they are, they're done a very poor job of fucking doing that shit. And people may call me bitter. People may say, "Oh, I'm angry." I don't give a fuck. I'm like me, my life. I've experienced so much spiritual warfare where like I've dealt with so much narcissistic people, covert narcissism from family members ever since I was born. Ever since I was pretty much my whole life. I've dealt with covert narcissism, fucking manipulative people, horrible shit, generational curses, fucking people lying to me, people projecting their trauma onto me. I've been through physical, verbal fights, so much shit from different types of people in different situations. So, and I'm still young. The average human being should experience this shit. So, and look at this world. We can't do shit without money. Oh, you're happy because you drive a nice car or you have a nice house and you can buy food whatever you want. You could travel wherever you want. But if money never existed or the money system collapsed because let's say the government decides to destroy the money system, then what you gonna do? You can't do any of that shit anymore. Even with the internet, people make money off the internet. The government could so easily close the internet off. They could shut that shit down. I mean, the government already controls the internet. Look at most people's YouTube channel. Most people's YouTube channels get shadow banned. And people want to say, "Oh, you're spiritually protected. You have ancestors watching." That's bullshit. And like I said, if that's the case, then they're doing a very poor job of doing that shit. I'm not saying it's when it comes to spirituality. I'm not saying God is real, the universe is real, or your ancestors or spiritual team is real. I'm not saying they're real. I'm not saying they are real. I'm not saying if they're real or they are real. Me personally, do I believe in it? I have an open mind. So if they're not real, they're not real. If they're real, they're real. I'm just saying like I never understand when people say that like you're spiritually protected or you have ancestors watching over you. That's bullshit. Look how much pain and suffering the average human being has to go through. And then I know what Christians or people in these Bible scriptures are gonna say like, "Oh, you're meant to go through hard times and setbacks so you can get closer to God or because of Jesus, whatever the fuck." You know what I'm saying? Even if that is true, it's fucking ridiculous. That does not sound righteous in my opinion. Call it an ego thing. I don't give a fuck. Damn, my ego, at least my ego knows right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, but this is how it is. I guess part of the human experience to experience the bullshit and pain, to learn from it, to overcome it, and then as you get older, as you get more wise, you experience more pain and bullshit. So my theory is that like a human being can't really evolve unless it experiences a lot of pain, trauma, and horrible shit in order for them to get to where they need to go when it comes to soul evolution. You know? It's crazy how this world corruption, we can't really do anything without money. Like that shit really bothers me. You know what I'm saying? Like me, like all my life, like even like I was the type of person where like I remember I was working at a job, right, and I was making money, and I'll see some homeless people, right, and while I was working and making money, I was thinking to myself like, man, I work at a bullshit job. There's people who doesn't work, and they deserve to get paid and not me, because I remember I was working at this bullshit ass job and I'm getting paid what, like fucking minimum wage, but at least I was making money, right? And like that was before I enlisted to the military. While I was working at the mall, I was like, man, I'm working at this bullshit ass job, at this fast food job, and like I'm literally not. I'm not making. I'm not helping out the world. I'm working at a bullshit job, making fast food that's poison, that's harmful to the human body. But yeah, I get money for that, and I'm able to buy the things I want through the system. While you have people who are struggling to get a job who's more qualified than me. I know both ends on the scale. I know what it's like to constantly. I know what it's like to have a good resume and good job experience and apply for so much jobs, and I'll always get turned down. I'll always get denied. And I also know what it's like to work at these jobs, and I'm aware how full of shit it is. So I'm the type of person where like if I already get a lot of money, or if I were to work like if I were to work at a good job, I still get pissed off at the system. I still get pissed off at the world, because we still have homeless people, we still have people in poverty, and we still got all this shit going on, while people like me and other people, we work at a bullshit job. You know what I'm saying? We live in a type of world where like a female could be a hoe by being a stripper or like being an OnlyFans, showing off her body and shit, and she makes billions of fucking thousands of dollars. While you have guys fucking working at these construction jobs, being overworked, and don't get paid jack shit. We live in a type of world where like if you get paid so much money, right? So much fucking money, you get what happens if you get robbed? What happens if someone takes your money? Or what happens if the government takes your money? You can't do shit. You can't do anything without money. This whole world runs around fucking money. It's the timeline we're living in. We're in a fucked up time. I'm not saying I'm ungrateful or I'm not thankful. No, I'm very grateful. I have a lot of gratitude. I'm thankful I got a roof over my head. I'm thankful I'm eating food. I'm thankful I got water. I got shelter. I got clothes. I'm thankful I have access to the internet. So it's not bad, but I'm just saying like it's just crazy how like the amount of control we're experiencing. You know what I'm saying? It could always get worse, but I'm just speaking my mind. But spiritual protection, that's bullshit, man. I don't believe in spiritual protection. I don't believe in ancestors. If anything, I don't respect my ancestors, because I came from a dysfunctional family. I came from very traumatized. I have a lot of traumatized family members that I was forced to cut off from, and people always say, "Oh, you gotta respect your ancestors. Oh, if you heal yourself, you're healing your ancestors." I'm like, fuck them. Like, I don't give a fuck about them. At the end of the day, my ancestors are responsible for perpetuating and creating toxic family members that I had to fucking deal with and fucking go through and suffer because of my fucking ancestors. And yet people in the spiritual community, they want to respect their ancestors. Get the fuck out of here. I hate when people say that shit. Like, people, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They just want to, they're no different than all this love and light bullshit. Or like, oh, respect your ancestors. Oh, trust God in the universe. The fuck out of here, man. Look at reality, man. The reality is that like we're all going through pain and trauma, and it's hard for us to overcome that shit. And it takes so long just to heal from that shit. And then we live in a corrupt world where like we got a lot of dumbass people who loves to betray, lie, and manipulate. And then we have a lot of spiritual attacks as well. This is why a lot of people who tend to make YouTube channels or who tend to like have an important soul mission or purpose, they got to go through the most bullshit because of spiritual attacks. Through blockages, through life tests, but also spiritual warfare as well. And I saw this other YouTube channel. He mentioned that like when you're the chosen one, right, or whatever, you're gonna attract a lot of people who hate you. And how I look at it is like, no, not really, because people who are chosen or people who are spiritual, the reason why they get so much spiritual attacks, because in my opinion, it's part of their purpose. It's part of their mission to experience trauma, pain, and abuse. As fucked up as that may sound, that could be the case. For me, at least I believe in that. Because people who are spiritual, is like, they're not meeting the same types of people coincidentally. All this shit was pre-planned. They're forced to be around these people. This is why when you watch on YouTube, a lot of people who are spiritual, they come from similar backgrounds when it comes to dysfunctional families and abusive family households. It's either that or they experience a lot of narcissism from people, or both. All that shit is not a coincidence. all that shit is pre-planned. It's not like, oh, you're being attacked or no, all that shit is pre-planned. This is why, like in my last video, I say I view life as a forced experience from your spirit. It's a forced experience, you know. But that's the real spiritual warfare. But I don't know, man. I'm just pissed off, man. I just hope like all the bullshit, all the unfair treatment I actually experience. I hope I get rich or I make a lot of money or at least do something where like I get to live life free, where I'm happy mentally, physically, and just where I feel mentally balanced, and I could make enough money so like I don't gotta deal with being around stupid ass people and be forced to work at bullshit jobs that I don't want to be in, pretty much. But and if I have enough power or energy to change up this world or to change up the system to make it better for everyone and to help a lot of people along their path, that'll be even great, you know. But I'm just fucking mad, man. Like, I'm so sick and tired of experiencing stupid ass people, man. And like I said, I'm not a confrontational person. I'm not like, I don't like conflict like that, but there are times where I have to set boundaries with people because they're so fucking stupid. Even if people have the right intentions, or even if these people don't have the bad intentions, if they're operating at a low intellectual level and they're not at your wavelength, they're still going to cause a lot of harm and damage because they don't have the emotional intelligence and they don't have the self-awareness to treat you with fucking respect and common sense. And a lot of people are like that, you know. It's just crazy how, like, if a human being has no money, you can't really do anything. You're pretty much useless. It takes so much time and energy to work at these 9-to-5 jobs just to make minimum wage. And yeah, we get charged for a phone bill, water bill, food bill, fucking cars cost a little expensive, car insurance, all this other fucked up shit, man. We live in a world where like we gotta pay for water, you know what I'm saying? It's just stupid, man. That's all I gotta say. I'm just mad, man. But have a good one. Peace.